Alright. I don't know if anything's coming through. My live playback ain't working. What is this? Okay, should be good. My live playback ain't working. What is this? Alright. Should be working. I hope people will come in soon. But you know what? I'll just continue to play the game as I always do. It's a pretty nice visual novel that I found. So I think that'll be if anyone's coming in. Yeah, I don't think anyone's. Maybe in a few. We'll see. I should really get a loading screen, honestly. I haven't really gotten one yet. I should really get a design. So I guess that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the game. Oh well. Okay. So, hi Sunshines. For those who are watching the VOD, welcome in as well. And today I found this visual novel. Actually, I found it a few months ago, but today we're going to be playing the PC port of the game. So I found this game randomly while looking at stuff on the PlayStation Store. It didn't occur to me that this was free on the PC, and I do regret having not found it on the PC. But I still went ahead and bought this on sale. This is the game that I'm playing today. It's called Graveyard Girls. I do find that this visual novel will be pretty interesting to go through. Now, I have played through this game on the PlayStation already. I'm going to warn y'all that this game will feature themes of grief, death, alcoholism, and drugs. If these are themes that are not easy for you to go through, you may not watch. That being said, it does have a sense of hope at the end. It's not all black and white, this visual novel, even though that it has a very anime way of going about its emotions, and I can tell that this one's going to be an emotional roller coaster. I'll say that. Now, I know some of y'all are probably going to be asking, isn't this supposed to be the Powerpuff Girls stream? Well, the thing about that, I wasn't really in the mood to play it today, and I just wanted something a little more easy for me to stream, and I decided to switch out the day. So we're still gonna do the PPG, but we're gonna do that tomorrow. Okay, that'll be tomorrow, and for now I want to just do this one first, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, you can see here this visual novel. You could download this off of itch.io. It's also on Steam. This will be a pretty interesting game to go through. Alright, let's get this game going. Now, how do I exit out of here? Okay, let's get this game going. Graveyard Girls. Run it anyway. Or should I be using 32? Oh, that's loud. Hold on. Listen to that music though. It's pretty nice music, I'll say that. That's so cute. These are all pictures that you're gonna get throughout the... Like, here's one. Really like the artwork. So, let's get this started. Graveyard Girls depicts the complicated and traumatic aftermath of losing a parent during young adulthood. This topic has been addressed as authentically as possible. If you're struggling with grief, you may not have a safe experience playing this game. Content warning: Graveyard Girls contains strong language, mature humor, drug abuse, self-harm, mentions of suicide, alcohol use, and sexual themes. This game is intended for players aged 18 years or older. User discretion is advised. We gotta continue. I would like to say that I have played the PlayStation version of this before. It doesn't really contain anything graphic or anything like that. They just talk about things. They just talk about stuff like that. It does have a picture of the main character's alcoholism, but other than that, it's not really like, you know, my side or DDLC levels of graphics. So I'm just clarifying that. That being said, it's still pretty dark stuff when it comes to the story. So just letting you know. Choices in this game unlock scribbles. These are available in the memories section of the main menu after unlocking. The leaves crunch below my feet as I make my way through the cemetery, counting each row that I pass. A frigid gust of wind catches my hair and blows it into my vision. I tuck it away carefully. I can't help but remember how he used to tease me about finding my long hair everywhere. He always told me how beautiful it was. And this is Elle. This is the main character. Once I find the section I've been searching for, I let out a sigh, although it's not a relief. The cold stone inscription stares back at me, expressionless. As I read the name quietly to myself, I feel like he's greeting me in his own way. What am I supposed to say? Nothing seems quite right, so I settle on the simplest of phrases. Hi, Dad. I made it. I know it's been a while. In truth, it's been too long. The last time I visited, he didn't even have a headstone. I'm sorry. I should have come sooner. What am I thinking? Coming here isn't going to help. As if talking to a polished rock is going to bring any kind of pleasure. I turn to leave, but there's a magnetism to this place. as he reached for my hand and said, "You leaving already?" I gazed back at his headstone and whispered to myself, "You want me to stay? Fine." My mom always insisted that I be careful not to stand on graves when visiting cemeteries. But that was out of respect for strangers. This is my dad's resting place. I sat on his lap 1,000 times before. What would he care if I rested on his grave now? You know he wouldn't have minded. Without another moment of hesitation, I brushed away the leaves and sit back against his headstone. I laid my notebook across my eyes and settled into place. If I'm staying for a while, I'm getting comfy. I glimpsed towards the late afternoon sun and paused to admire the golden glow of autumn. He loved this time of year. Well, I'm guessing not much has changed with you. He'd appreciate that sarcasm, dark humor was his thing. That's probably where I got it from. I'll just sit here and talk to myself. Like a crazy person. I take a deep breath in, but the crisp air won't soothe the ache in my lungs. So, I'm actually blocking some of the text right now. Hold on. Hopefully that will be better. I need to say something. Anything. Should we talk about mom? Should we stay positive? He's probably gonna want to know, at least his spirit, his ghost, you know? He's gonna want to know what the family's been up to, you know? So, let's not patronize, guy. I guess it's time to tell you what's been going on. You might not love what I have to say next. You'll probably be angry. At least I think you will be. I'll try to keep it short. So, you died. And no one saw it coming. One day you were gone. I don't think I've processed that yet, to be honest. Mom couldn't handle the pain, so she shut down. I guess that was her coping mechanism. She spent months crying over you. She barely slept or ate. I didn't expect this to be easy, but I thought I still have my mom to lean on. I convinced myself that I was lucky to have her, regardless of how she was handling this. That's what I kept telling myself on the worst days. We weren't alone either. People tried to support her. Aunt Cora wanted her to visit a therapist, but Mom locked the doors and ignored her phone. I tried to talk with her too, but it was like she couldn't hear me. She was a shell of a person, shutting everything and everyone out. I thought she needed time. But one morning she packed her clothes and bought a plane ticket. There was no warning. She said she'd be back in 2 weeks, that she needed a vacation. Mom left, and it sucks to say, but I knew she wouldn't come back. I've seen her a handful of times since. One of those times was to sell the house that you built. I still drive past it. I like to pretend that you'll be waiting on the porch, having a cigarette or watering the plants. It's soothing in a strange way. But you look, I paused to catch my breath. Mom's in an apartment on the other side of the country with her new boyfriend, but I stayed here. She helped with my tuition and rent, but she's gone. Honestly, if you saw her today, you wouldn't recognize her. I feel like I never really knew her. She left me behind, and I think it's because I remind her of you. There's a hole in my heart where my mom used to be, and I hated her. We're only 5 minutes in, and this is already, wow. A part of me still does. I used to think it would be easier if she disappeared. Isn't that horrible? Saying it is worse than feeling it quietly. And I spent so much time hating her. She took up all the space I had left in my heart. But the worst part of it all is that I think I forgot to do the losing you. That's why I'm here today. Because the person I need to talk to most in this world is a part of this world. I looked skyward as I played back early teens. And Cora used to tell me to think of you smiling down on me. I keep thinking how sweet she used to say that, but when I picture you, you're looking up. I know that sounds dark, but seriously, what's left of you is 6 feet below me. Cora wanted me to remember you in a happy way. I get that. I'm just too literal. I searched for what to say next and wondered what he'd say if he were here. The truth is, I don't know what you feel. I didn't get a chance to know you better. Laura's words echo in my mind. That smile. What was your smile like anyway? Why didn't I try harder to preserve it in the first place? A frustration that I can't swallow begins to form in my throat. I stay silent, afraid that my voice will break and the rest of me will follow. I do my best to reanimate my dad's grin in my mind's eye, but there's nothing. A stray leaf dances in front of me before heading west with the wind. I push away the distraction and close my eyes, forcing myself to focus on his lost expressions. I try to revisit each part of him. His amber eyes, his lips, slowly I could piece it together, but he wouldn't assemble. Even his voice was a dulling whisper. Why couldn't I remember how he spoke? One exact phrase plucked from my memory would be enough to hear him, but the words remained unspoken. I couldn't even remember how he sounded when he said, I love you. It's just gotta be hard to think about. A familiar pain begins to claw on my chest, one I buried under a mountain of pills early this morning. No, not now. I inhaled a ragged breath and shoved the shadows away. It's something I practiced for a while now. Keep talking, distract yourself. You know, it's good that I visited before the snow. Winter is nearly here. You might not realize it, but today is your favorite holiday. It's also the day you die. This is breaking me, sunshines. We're definitely looking at some dark stuff. 4 years ago, maybe you were that partner. He suffered long enough to know he was going to die, I think. That was the detail that made me found him when they told him about his accident. He was awake when the ambulance arrived. Why wasn't it faster? In my constant reimaginations, he'd always be unconscious. I couldn't bring myself to picture any details. I didn't want to remember how he suffered, but it was a part of his story. It was part of his life. His suffering and vices had even drifted into my dreams later. The anniversary always amplified them. I tried smoking and drinking just to see what he thought was so great about me. He was one of those deadbeat dads. Oh God. I must have gotten the genes from you because they're my favorite clutch now. I don't know why you're torturing yourself with them. At least I have my reasons. But I did know. My mom stopped hiding their broken marriage once his casket was closed. I knew things were rough, but I didn't realize how destructive they were. Lately, I started to question if my mother was the true monster in his life. Oh, wow. This part right here, guys, I can relate to this. Or at least my girlfriend can. And my girlfriend's actually going through the same thing right now. When it comes to this line right here, the mother being the actual problem and not the dad. Yeah, my girlfriend's gone through a divorce. Just to disclose this, they were not happy together, and yeah, my girlfriend's been pretty much better off without her. Her mom used to treat her like a baby and overprotect her, and a lot of stuff happened. She done told me a lot of personal stuff. That's pretty much all I can say. It's funny. I spent so much time asking myself why you torture yourself for shitty choices when I mirrored them daily. That's why I'm here too. Because I'm your daughter. I came here to suffer, not to heal. This pain doesn't mend like a paper cut, Dad. It festers like a gunshot. I'm so frustrated because now I know who Mom is. She's shown the world her true colors. You deserve better. I picture her so perfectly. It's not fair. I bite my lip and push my mother's face from my head. This isn't about her. Don't let her steal this moment. Anyway, I've been writing. Quite a lot, actually. Almost daily. It's therapeutic, I think. Getting my feelings on paper helps me feel detached from them. They're a little less heavy when I read them out loud. When I write, I can push the darkest thoughts I'm having away, even momentarily. The best part is, I'm not afraid that someone's listening and analyzing. It feels safer than the grief counseling I attended. I don't think the professionals were judging me, but when they listened, I felt them processing my words and misunderstanding. Just because I write dark things doesn't mean I'm a dark person. Exactly. We can take a lesson from this line. Some people take dark things way too seriously these days. It's pretty interesting. Should be good now. 56 dB. Okay. Should be good now. But yeah, this line right here, it really, we should take lessons from this line. I'm reaching for brighter thoughts and feelings when I let those words go. My new therapist understands. She's different from the others. It finally feels important that I go to my appointments. I don't look forward to them because they're a lot. But when I leave, I feel lighter. Like I lessened the load on my shoulders. I get scared sometimes because each day is a wild card. I hate feeling like everything is out of my control. I'm terrified that therapy can't save me. I don't want to bottle things up again. Holding that shit in was the worst idea I ever had. Fuck it. Dad, I'm done pretending. I drink. I smoke. I popped some pills before I left the house. I'll do anything to be numb. But I'm afraid that scribbling my feelings isn't enough. I thought that the pain was dulling, but it's worse than the day you died. I know you're not here today, but I keep picturing you in every tomorrow. And each day, that image grows a little dimmer. Between losing you and Mom taking off, I've been trying so hard to feel empty. Being happy felt out of reach, so feeling less became the best option. Turns out being destructive couldn't save me. You can't hear drowning girls cry. I will wipe away the overflowing stream of tears rolled with my sleeve and shut my eyes. Practice those deep breaths. It's okay to be upset. I inhale and exhale. But the griefs are intruded on. The earth sways below as the sensation of floating overcomes me. Almost like sitting on a boat. Why does it feel like the world's drifting? There's probably those stupid allergy pills. A twinge of concern washes over me as I try to imagine the state of my liver, but I excuse the thoughts quickly. It's not like I eat vegetables or drink enough water anyway. Coffee, bread, and cheese are my food groups. It was dumb to take more pills before leaving. I know it's a bad day when they can't keep me from crying. I tried to focus on the positives. At least I was doing better. Taking them as prescribed was a challenge, but I managed to for quite a while. Today was a hiccup. They're usually a subtle but helpful bandage. I'm an idiot for thinking they'd handle this visit. Subtle can't cover this. How could I ever expect this visit to be easy? It was naive of me. Today is always going to fucking stay. The words I've whispered under my breath 1,000 times echo out once again. You're never going to be okay. I said the words. You're never going to be okay. Never, ever, again. I tell myself that I needed to get those words out of my system. But I know that they're about to sit on the tip of my tongue again, waiting to escape. With my eyes still shut, I sigh and let my thoughts drift with the vertigo. Maybe those pills weren't so useless. The chilly gust lifts fluttering leaves away from the earth, and I can hear them dancing through the air. I begin to imagine that I'm flying with them, twirling away from this place. Away from my body. Hello? A voice? I must have imagined it. Are you okay? What the? I open my eyes and stumble upward in a daze. I hurriedly dust off my clothes before looking towards the stranger behind the question. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm taken aback by her presence. I didn't expect to see anyone here. No, it's fine. You didn't scare me. My throbbing heart tells a different story. I suddenly feel thankful that I'm not the blushing type. Are you alright? I'm fine. Why? She gestures towards my dad's headstone and subtly raises her eyebrows. I think you were sleeping on someone's grave. Did you, know them? I laugh half-heartedly. It's my dad. He wouldn't mind. Oh. The girl's posture stiffens noticeably, and I remind myself to tone back the abruptness. You're not talking to a ghost anymore. Act normal. I'm gonna ask her. What's your name? I'm Lucia. And you are? I quickly realized that I should have introduced myself first. It would have been the polite thing to do. Why do I always feel so disjointed when I meet new people? Same here. I'm actually a pretty shy person when it comes to meeting new people. But I am also open, being a VTuber, it makes things easier for me to approach people. It's kind of why I have this model now. why you're napping in a cemetery? Well, it wasn't on the agenda. I took allergy medication and it hit a little harder than I anticipated. Oof, I've been there. What are you allergic to? I scrambled to come up with a good excuse. Not too sure. Had some hives and figured it was best to take a pill. Or 4. I get it. Sometimes cats make my eyes itchy. I pet them anyway. They're worth it. I can't help but smile back at Lucia. She seems sweet. So, you were visiting someone too? Lucia's smile falters. Nice job. You're always good at brightening the room. Yes, my sister passed away. Her name was Kate. She died last week. I can't help but regurgitate the sentence that everyone had spoken to me in the past. I'm sorry. Lucia shifts her feet uncomfortably and stares at the ground. I remember standing like that too, unsure of how to respond. Sorry, that wasn't the right thing to say. I don't mind, it's what everyone says. I know, I've been there. My dad died 4 years ago, so the memories are still pretty fresh. Lucia's eyes widen fearfully. They are. I struggle to backtrack, jumping to console her as best as I can. Not the same way that you're feeling. I mean that it's his anniversary today, so it feels closer than usual. Lucia's shoulders drop slightly as her gaze softens. That's understandable. I get it now. I'll be visiting on Kate's day too. Does visiting get easier? A Molotov mixture of disgust and embarrassed builds in my chest. What am I supposed to say? Let's just come out with it, you know? If I was feeling down like, L right here, I would never lie. I would just have to come out with it. And you would too. Trust me, you would too. The truth. I don't know. Her eyebrows furrow slightly, a hint of confusion glimmers in her gaze. What do you? I mean that I haven't been here since he was. I trail off, the words too heavy to speak. I haven't talked about his burial before. The smooth and polished shine of his cherry wood casket revisits me. No. Don't cry in front of her. Don't scare her. I shake my head and try to find my way back to the present. Sorry. Lucia nods in silent understanding. We pause for a moment, both not quite sure how to continue. Lucia takes a step closer, trying her best to mend the gap between us. Elle, you don't have to explain. I'm sorry that I prodded. I expect the knots in my stomach to twist and tighten, but they nearly surrender as Lucia looks at me apologetically. Instead of burying the words and leaving them to wait for my notebook, I speak up. I want to explain. Lucia smiles softly with a hint of encouragement. When it came to visiting, I couldn't do it. It never felt right. My memories of him aren't in the spot. They're everywhere but here. I tried once, but it wasn't long after he passed. He was full of life, so his graveside, it wasn't a place I could reflect on him. Until today? Yeah. Today I wanted to try again. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess I hoped it would help with closure. Lucia looks towards my father's headstone. Those are beautiful flowers. I like the arrangement you chose. I bite at my lip unconsciously. Thanks, but I didn't leave those. I think his sister was there earlier. Laura's big on flowers. Oh, well, she has good taste. Sorry to focus on the flowers, I can't help myself. I'm forced. That's interesting. The anxious realization that I never thought to bring my dad flowers hits me. It never even crossed my mind. Does Lucia think it's rude that I did it? Maybe you could suggest a bouquet for my dad. I should have bought one. Hey, if it's not your thing, don't feel like you have to buy them. Lucia smiles carefully as she reads me like an open book. I do have an idea though, if you want to leave him something meaningful. Please, I love to. I expected not to mean that, but for some reason, I want to. Wait here, please. I nod as Lucia walks past me. I flip through my notes instead of staring after her, doing my best not to act entranced. Where did this girl come from? She's so sweet. The crunch of falling leaves under footsteps carries from the distance. Lucia stands closer than before. I brought you this. She reaches into her bag and extends her hand. Oh, that's cute. I like this art. A single icy blue rose sits between her thumb and forefinger. I reach forward, but stop in hesitation. Where did you get it? It was left at Kate's grave. A gasp escapes my lips and I shake my head. I can't take that. No, don't worry. Kate would want your father to have a flower. She doesn't like roses anyway. Lucia trails off, realizing what she said. Me? Didn't. Kate didn't like roses. I try my best to reassure her with my glance as I accept the rose. Thank you. That present tense thing, it goes away. You don't feel like you need to jump to correct yourself. Time will take care of it. Lucia nods silently in response. As I kneel against the cold earth to place the blue rose on my dad's grave, I realize how fresh the flower is. The edges of the petals have barely begun to wilt. I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. Before turning towards her, I ask a question on my mind. Lucia, when was Kate's funeral? Yesterday. As I face Lucia, I want to ask why she's here today. I want to know how she's doing. I want to hug her. I want to make her feel less alone, even if for a fraction of a second. I want to give her what I never had. A moment of silence passes us by. But before I can ask Lucia to let me in, she breaks the silence herself. Are you still tired? I massage the back of my neck absent-mindedly and laugh a little. Yeah. Did the dark circles give me away? Lucia giggles softly. No, your eyes are fine. That was kind of her to lie about. I looked in a mirror before. I can't believe I fell asleep. It's a little embarrassing. Don't worry about it. Do you drink coffee? Yes. Let me buy you one. You don't want to sleep through Halloween. There's a great coffee shop in the Old Town district. Old Town? Isn't that a little far? Did you drive here? No, I walked. Well, I don't mind giving you a ride. Let me take you. It's my treat. Unless you have other plans. I don't. A part of me remains hesitant. Getting into cars with strangers is something my parents encourage, that's for sure. She seems harmless enough, but I don't actually know her. Plus, today is not exactly an easy day for me. Lucia quietly leans over my rigid stance. Without explanation, she grins and starts to giggle at me. Did you want to take a selfie together? What? You can send it to a friend. That way, if you go missing, they know exactly who to look for. I smile back at her and slowly shake my head. Nah, it's fine. I stick out my thumb in a hitchhiking fashion. I love the thrill of getting into a stranger's car. Lucia playfully rolls her eyes before winking at me. Buckle up then, we're going for a ride. Okay, that's the art from the thumbnail. We head towards the road, walking past rows of headstones side by side. I didn't imagine I'd be leaving here with someone. The feeling of walking close to her is strangely comforting. I guess I always expected to be here alone. Even if I had a special person in my life, I would have asked anything. Hey, she kind of looks like Lydia, don't you think? Who here? She kind of looks like Lydia Nicozawa. Someone I know, to be totally clear. She kind of looks like her. It's hard to understand what it's like to visit this place, unless you're missing someone. The drive to the coffee shop is uneventful. Lucia's car has heated seats, so I try my best to subtly warm my hands under my legs. She doesn't seem to notice and stays focused on driving. We chat about the weather mostly. Once we reach the Old Town District, Lucia carefully navigates towards the last parking spot on the street. This is the place! I haven't been here in forever. After stepping out of the car, Lucia tugs gently on my sweater and guides me to the crosswalk. She's practically bouncing towards the cafe. Once we cross, we find ourselves at the front doors. Despite the chilly weather, they still offer outdoor seating. A waitress steps outside to greet us with a smile on her face. Welcome! If you'd like to take a seat, I'll be right with you. As the waitress steps inside, I move to follow her. Lucia pulls at my sleeve again with an expectant grin. Let's sit out here, it's more private. As we take our seats outside the cafe, I can feel the energy of the cemetery fall away. Our table is vibrantly decorated with Halloween-themed trinkets and candles. This is so cute! I can't argue with that. She definitely chose a festive spot. The street is bustling with ghouls and witches. Even our waitress is dressed up. Happy Halloween! Can I interest you in one of our spooky specials? Lucia's eyes light up immediately. Ooh, what are they? The waitress grins, realizing she's hooked Lucia in. Today we have our pumpkin cheesecake paired with any of our fall specialty drinks for $8.99. If you're craving something warm and hearty, we also have butternut squash soup with one of our fresh baked biscuits. Lucia squeals with delight. I love cheesecake! Could I get the pumpkin cheesecake with a pumpkin spice latte, please? I guess she likes pumpkins. After jotting down Lucia's order, the waitress's grace darts towards me. What would you like? That pumpkin cheesecake sounds fine. And to drink? I rack my brain for anything other than the pumpkin spice latte. Sorry, what are your other fall drinks? Maple pecan and chai lattes. Lucia raises her eyebrows and whispers exaggeratedly across the table. The maple pecan sounds super yummy. I can't help but chuckle. Okay, I'll get the maple pecan latte. The waitress nods and leaves with a smile. Barely a minute passes before our waitress rushes back to the table. Here are your lattes! Thanks so much! I'll bring your cheesecake over as soon as it's ready. Lucia peers over at me with a curious glimmer in her eyes. Did you think it's too hot to sit? I'm sure it's fine. I lift the cup to my lips and decide to take a swig. Yikes! My throat burns as I try desperately to clear it encompassingly. I don't know how to say this last word. Sorry. I'm not. I do my best not to sputter on Lucia as I reply. It's quite warm still. She giggles softly. You didn't need to be my lab rat. Just trying to be helpful. Lucia raises her cup and takes a careful sip. It's not that hot. You're trying to scare me. Well, it is Halloween. How did she not scald herself? Does she have no sense of temperature? Maybe that's why she chose outdoor seating on this chilly day. Do you like celebrating Halloween? I falter, unsure how to explain myself. I used to. Lucia realizes what she's asking. Sorry, I can't believe that I forgot that today is. No apology necessary. I try my best to steer the conversation with a lighter tone in my voice. I do like Halloween, by the way. I just haven't done much other than hand out candy for a few years. The kids in my neighborhood love my place. They know I always have tons of drinks. You only hand out candy? You haven't dressed up? No, but I did like that part when I was in high school. Great! I'm going to a costume party tonight. What do you think? Spooky or sexy? Huh? What kind of costume should I go with? I have a closet full of options. What shall we go with? Everybody knows if you watch my channel, we love the fan service around here. Let's just go with it. I'm curious to see what she says. Sexy costumes are fun. She winks at me quickly. you suggest that? But I bite my cheek hard. It's just where somebody was gonna choose that. These writers. A flash of pan dances across my face. Elle, are you okay? I'm fine. I was thinking about what costumes you might have. What would you say then? I somehow managed to embarrass myself more than I did. Lucia politely ignores the common steps teasing me. So, did you want to come to the party with me? I was going to go alone, but it would be great to bring a... Lucia's words drips away from me. My lips stiffen as if I had suddenly been plunged into icy water. A party on Halloween? That I my cheek, desperate to escape the cursing river of guilt. No freaking out. Not now. I dig my nails into my palm, trying to snap myself away from the echo of that Halloween party. Okay. Focus and breathe. The idea of rejecting Lucia hurts, but I can't go with her. The voice of my therapist saying trauma trigger rings in my ear. I promise that I stop being self-destructive, and I can't risk Lucia seeing me like that. I can't. Not tonight, at least. The ghost of my distant night disappears as quickly as it arrived. I'm at the cafe with Lucia. Okay. Lucia grips the handle of her mug and spins it absent-mindedly. I thought you didn't have plans. I have a date later. Sorry that I didn't mention it. A frown escapes Lucia. A date? I nod. Yep, with a bowl of leftover candy. Leftover? Oh! Relief washes over her. If it isn't obvious already, I'm painfully single. It's not obvious. Really? Of course it isn't. You're so pretty. For a second, my heart skips a beat. Wow. I realize how rude I might be coming off. I mean, thanks. We break eye contact and struggle to continue. That's one way to snap back into the crowd. Come on, keep it up. So, what's it like being a florist? My point to redirect the conversation is painfully evident. Lucia just brushed me off. My family has owned a flower shop for 3 generations, so it's pretty natural for me. What about you? Are you a student? No, I graduated from a tourism and hospitality program. I work at the Spring Dream Suites. That sounds interesting. It's really not. My job is to fend off bad. Guys, if you're hearing people banging up there, I have people living upstairs, so sorry if there's any banging if I read it. They act like zoo animals out there. Let me just go back. I work at the Spring Dream Suites. That sounds interesting. It's really not. My job is to fend off bad reviews, basically. Lucia laughs, but I'm afraid it's forced. Do you like to travel? I haven't really traveled since I was a kid, but if I ever had the chance, I'd love to work at a resort. Just to see what it's like to live in a warm climate. Count me in. I'm always down to book a room at the island resort. I promise I'll leave a good review too if you get me a discount. I can't help but giggle. I'll do my best. I'm curious about your job. When did you join your family's business? They started training me when I was young. I spent plenty of summers playing in my grandmother's garden. She started the business with my grandfather. It's beautiful. They have a huge property out in the countryside. I loved putting together bouquets for my mom when I was little. My grandma would help me pick them, so they always turned out perfectly. She called it my training. Her plan worked out though. I'm running the business with my parents now. My grandparents are retired, but they still help me out when we're short-handed. Lucia's gaze seems to intensify. It feels like she's looking right through me. Is she alright? She notices my concern and smiles reassuringly. Sorry, I was thinking about those summers as a kid. I can still picture the day that my sister made a flower crown out of daisies. She put it on my head and called me a princess. It was just a games cake, but... She clears her throat. That was Today I fell in love with flowers. I'll never forget it. Lucia, that was a wonderful woman. Her hand trembled ever so slightly. She must have been nervous to share that memory. That's so special. Hello, ladies! Here's our pumpkin cheesecake. Before I can finish, our waitress interrupts. We wait for her to set down our plates and cutlery. Can I get you anything else? I think we're good, thanks. The waitress steps away and heads inside. I fiddle with my notebook and flip through the pages while Lucia sips her drink. Elle, can I ask you a question? I smile at you to start chatting again. Go ahead. Lucia motions towards the table. What's that? Oh, it's my notebook. Like a diary? Sort of. It has a bit of everything. Unfinished thoughts, sketches, and some journaling. I don't usually carry it around. You brought it for your dad? Maybe it was obvious, or maybe she understands me. Yeah, I did. I thought about reading to him, but I felt weird once I got there. I talked to him instead, which wasn't much easier. I think I know how you feel. I tried talking to Kate today, but I couldn't. I left her voicemails instead. It felt closer to how things were. Almost normal. It's subtle, but Lucia's voice breaks as she trails off. Instinctively, I reach across the table. For a fraction of a second, my hand rests on top of her own. I pull away swiftly, feeling that I've invaded her space. Sorry. She stares at her lap, unmoving. Thank you. That was nice. For a moment, I envision the horrible precipice Lucia is hovering on the edge of. Unfiltered, unprocessed, raw grief. One day, she's going to realize that in the infinite possibilities of this universe, she will never see her sister again. The realization that there will never be another moment shared with Kate. The end of making memories and the beginning of their blurring. It seems clear, but it never is. Elle? Yeah. Lucia bites at her lip and stares into her cup. I have questions that I'm afraid to ask anyone else. I don't want to be weird or rude, but you seem to understand loss better than anyone I've spoken to. How should I answer? What if I make her feel worse? I decide to warn her. Honestly, I'm not the best person to get grief counseling from. You want to be real with me. I'm tired of being brushed off. Suddenly, the circle of chairs in the church basement revisits me. I felt brushed off too. It was so discouraging. What did people say to you? Is it true? The stages? Honestly, I forgot how much people like to focus on that idea. My grief is at least not in the way I can tell them through glassy eyes. Emotions aren't on this day. I can wake up in acceptance and go to bed angry or bargaining. Lucia's eyes brighten. It's always on your mind right now. But there's going to be days where you forget about Kate for longer than you ever thought possible. I forget about my dad all the time. Lucia, is there any pain? Because you're healing? No. I feel even dull at times. It always feels wrong. I felt punished for trying to function. Going to work, visiting friends, even getting dressed. Putting away the pain is harder than carrying it. I just want you to know that. There's no winning. As if she's truly absorbing the information. You know, Lucia stopped to clear her throat before. I didn't plan to go back today. You didn't? No. I was driving around mindlessly and it sort of dawned on me that wandering in a daze was disrespectful to her memory. She would have done anything for a clear moment. I don't want to demand answers, but I can't nod and pretend that I read it. I'm not here to tell her that she's young and that'll make it easier. That was wrong of them. Anecdotes and adages aren't solutions. I want to listen and do my best to understand her. But Lucia doesn't move to explain herself. If you're not ready to tell, no, it's fine. Sorry, I need a moment. I nod and wait for her to gather her thoughts. She takes a deep breath and begins. Kate suffered from chronic health problems. It taught me what a privilege a pain-free day is. She tried her best to live a normal life, but her health had a habit of stealing happy moments from her. One morning, Kate didn't get up for breakfast. My mom went upstairs to check on her. They had plans to go shopping, so it was odd that she hadn't started getting ready. When my mom walked in, Kate wouldn't wake up. She was taking prescription drugs for her illness, and she aspirated in her sleep. It was sudden. She died all alone. And now I'm here, 1 week later, enjoying a pumpkin spice latte while my sister starts to rot in the ground. My heart shudders as she speaks the word rot. So, yeah, I get what you mean. There are no right choices. Every moment without her feels wrong. I feel like a stranger in my own life. I never say anything like that, especially to someone I just met, but I spoke without hesitating. And now I'm regretting every word. I'm going to think I'm a freak. No! It's horrible, but you said it makes perfect sense. I don't want her to know that my heart doesn't feel like it did before. Just a whiplash of false hope. I pull my hand away and break the silence. Sure. She unlocks her phone and hands it over. I carefully type my information into the new contact menu, making sure I leave no mistakes. I know it's a cliche, but it doesn't have hesitation burning now. I don't think I am. I tried talking to other people dealing with loss and it didn't help. Sometimes I wonder if the opposite would have been better. Yet if you don't want to talk about grief, but I don't need kid gloves. She's laughed. I don't listen to her. When? The poetry. Like sudden rain on a cloudless day. I $20 went in there. As much as I wouldn't mind paying for the bill, I won't bet it. I know she's right, and she knows it too. It's my uncertainty. It's not like you have to see her again. If you answer, I find myself imagining her in my future. Where she fits, but I'm certain that I want to see her again. I'll buy. Finally! First, you have to make me a promise. What kind of promise? When we go our separate ways, you have to text me after, even if it's to say bye forever. Okay? I promise that I'll text you. I wink at Lucia. Ask me anything. I'm an open book. Okay, let's start with... Yup. They never do. I hadn't seen a body before service. I don't know what I expected a dead person to look like, but it wasn't that. Looking at her made me sick. Or maybe it was afraid. I couldn't believe it was her. She looked like a doll. A weird imitation. Even when it was there, I knew exactly where she was. I could hear her. She definitely didn't look like she was sleeping. She looked... My God. This is remember what it said to me that day. breaking me, guys. I have to close some windows, honestly. Just closing some windows for the time being. The ideologies are a blur. I pursed my lips. How did no one notice how she felt about seeing her dead sister? Why didn't anyone help her? I'm sorry nobody warned you before the funeral. I'm sorry that no one saw what you were dealing with during it either. You needed support and you deserved it. Thanks. Having a viewing isn't right for everyone. Please don't worry. It's okay to be freaked out. You're not the first to feel that way, trust me. There's a term for it. Seriously? Yeah, it's called uncanny valley. When you look at someone you've seen animated with life and see that emptiness, that absolute absence of energy, it's different for everyone, but you're not going to like it. I'm sorry you saw Kate that way. You deserve the option not to. Lucia frowned sharply. You're right. No one asked if I wanted an open casket. My parents did all the planning. I just showed up. My mom did the opposite. She dragged me to every moment of planning. Choosing Dad's casket, it's burned into my memory. There's no winning when you don't get a choice. We both deserve to make our own decisions. Lucia nods as her expression softens. After the funeral, I kept pulling a photo of Kate out of my wallet. I couldn't help but stare and cry. I was doing whatever I could to remember her the way she was instead of the shell I saw that day. I'd like to think that focusing on her smile helped. She sits back in her chair and motions towards her back. Would you like to see it? Well, of course, why wouldn't I? Sure. Lucia carefully places a small photograph on the table between us. I sit forward and peer down, bracing myself. She was pretty. Instantly, I felt my heart shudder out of rhythm as I take in the smiling image of a girl my own age. She was so young. I looked back to Lucia and tried to keep my response simple. Your sister had a beautiful smile. She nods in agreement. I took that photo when we were gardening together last summer. Weeding my grandma's garden was always a pain, but Kate did her best to make me laugh whenever she could. She spent more time gathering up bouquets than actually pulling weeds. I didn't mind though. Chores weren't so bad when she was around to help. I think Kate smiled every day of her life. I'll miss that the most. She was a bright light. That's why I always wanted to be like my big sister. Lucia reaches over and takes the photo, tucking it away carefully in her wallet. Elle, please don't feel pressure. I get it if you can't share anymore. I know that I'm not entitled to your pain or experiences, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to hear them. Can I ask another question? Go for it. Lucia's lips quiver as her amber eyes betray a silver of anxiety. You're sure? Please, I want to help. She swallows audibly. Do you feel like he's watching you? An old weight descends and perches on my shoulders. The hovering of familiar eyes. A specter I thought I left in the past. I shrug it away with a practiced breath. In the first few weeks after he died, yeah. Quite often. That goes away fast, I think. You don't remember? I can't tell her how I yelled at nothingness in the days before Dad's funeral. How I ordered him away from my own comfort. That I didn't want him to visit, ever. I needed to live without his ghostly gaze. That stays between us. Simplicity is best. It goes away. You just decide that you don't care what they see. A hint of blush touches her cheek. It better go away. I felt weird showering today. I couldn't stop picturing her standing on the other side of the curtain, waiting. It's eerie. I feel like I'm going crazy. I promise you're not crazy. I've been there. How did you do it? What? Cope. How did I cope? That's an impossible question. Honestly, that's an answer I'm still searching for. You You must have tried something. Oh, Lucia, I've tried plenty. I decided to turn the question back towards her. What have you tried in the first week? My hair, I guess. It wasn't this color last week. I had the appointment before Kate died. She booked it for me. I couldn't bring myself to cancel it, so I went to her funeral like this. There's a hint of regret in her voice. There's nothing wrong with fashion colors. Maybe from your perspective. I thought it would make me happy, but it didn't work. I remember when I felt that way too. When I thought that a haircut or a tattoo could spill some color into the gray haze. I regret not rescheduling at least. My cousin implied that I was trying to steal Kate's spotlight. Some of Kate's friends did too. Spotlight? What a poor choice of words. Boy, they're assholes. I'm sorry. That wasn't fair of them to say. But it was. I did that when she was alive. She is. Kate was my best friend and worst enemy. I got so jealous of her constantly. The worst part was Kate knew it, and she always did her best to reassure me that I was pretty or popular too. It didn't matter what was bothering me, she would zero in on it and try to fix things. Kate could be too kind. It was disarming and infuriating. And as much as she bugged me, I would do anything to get that back. I want her to make it better. I need to know what to do with all of this. I'm overflowing with feelings towards her, and there is no resolution. I can't work it out with her. Every chance slipped away in an instant. There is no outlet for this ocean of pain, and it hurts. I wanted to stop, just for a second. I want a break. I can't give you a break. No one can. I know. I raised my hand to stop her. Wait, I wasn't done. I can't give you a break, but when things get too stormy, I can be your anchor. I wait, half expecting her to burst into laughter over this lame sentiment. Or maybe she'll pity me and say thanks as quickly as possible. Her eyes grow wide in disbelief. Why? You don't even know me. I think I know you better than you want me to. I know the questions in your head. I live them. Lucia freezes. Maybe that scares you. I feel like you know me too, and it's uncomfortable. It fills me with insecurities I didn't even know I had. But I still want to see you again. I want to be the other pieces of you. I mean, I don't know your favorite color or hobbies, but I want to. She doesn't respond. That's the long-winded version of why I'll be there if you call. If you want to see me again. Lucia finally emerges from her silence. But if you're going to know my story, I need to hear more of yours. I can tell you're censoring it. I'm not blind either. When I asked you about that Halloween party, you froze up. I saw it. Something stole from us. Just hide that from me. Can't you be too? I promise I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going anywhere. Will you tell me? But if you have any questions, wait until I'm finished. Alright, prepare yourself for this, guys. This is gonna be hard to get through. Lucia nods in agreement. Okay, I can do that. Fair warning, it's a long and messy story. If it's too much to hear right now, please stop me. I will if I need to. Alright. I swallow, but the lump in my throat remains. It's an uncomfortable ache. Until today, I hadn't felt that for months, maybe even years. It's better than feeling nothing, right? I turn my attention back to Lucia. I'm going to think aloud here. If I come off erratic, that's why. Honestly, I'm ashamed of myself. And that's not typical. I hated myself. I felt angry, lonely, and stupid. But never ashamed. There was no one around that I cared enough about to feel shame. when you started asking questions, you made me reflect for the first time in a while. Despite my declaration of honesty, I can't help but hold back. Vulnerability is not my thing. It's exactly why therapy has always been a struggle. I decide to borrow the attitude I fought so hard to leave behind. Fuck it. Here goes nothing. 4 years ago, I went to a Halloween party. Lucia's eyes raised quickly, as expected. I was home from college that weekend, and I was so excited to get together with my old friends. We all gone to different schools, so it was something we'd been planning for a while. We all dressed up together before the crowd arrived. It started out pretty innocently, but a ton of people showed up, and the party got kinda crazy. My friend was hosting, and she didn't mind, luckily. Originally, I planned to stay the night, but I ended up drinking way too much, and I needed to go home early. My boyfriend stayed on campus that weekend, so he could give me a ride. I called my dad after midnight, and he agreed to come pick me up. He wasn't mad or anything. He was glad that I called when I needed him. I was just having fun and overindulged. He understood. My dad was driving to my friend's place when a teenager in a truck blew through a stop sign and T-boned him. When the emergency services arrived, my dad was still awake. He didn't make it to the hospital. I wait, trying to gauge Lucia's response. She seems okay. I'll keep going. The kid that caused the accident walked away with superficial scratches. He was lucky in that regard, but mentally, he was traumatized. I don't have any ill will towards him anymore. He did his best to make amends with my family. Honestly, I hope he can live a normal life. One mistake shouldn't haunt him forever. After my dad died, things with my mom went downhill pretty quickly. I left school to stay home with her. It didn't feel right to leave her alone. Things fizzled out with my boyfriend because of the distance, so I was dealing with my stuff too. I tried to be there for my mom, but nothing worked. When I spoke with her, she made me feel like I didn't exist. And when I tried to tell her about my feelings, she shut me down. She treated suffering like a competition. She said that he was just my dad. She ran on about how we're meant to lose our parents, that he was her husband and that her pain would never end. I barely recognized her. There was even a time when I thought she might kill herself. I didn't know what to do. I was practically still a teenager. I catch myself holding back but pushed through. It was fucking scary. Lucia purses her lips and laughs solemnly. Her eyes speak as sincere and I'm so sorry as she possibly can. But she stays true to her word and doesn't interrupt, sensing that my story isn't complete. Without much of an explanation, she suddenly went on a vacation and never really came back. She moved to the West Coast and got a fresh start. I grit my teeth, forcing myself to say what I've only felt before. My mom said that I was always welcome to join her, but I know that she only offered because she knew I refused to move. She knew that I wouldn't follow her. Eventually, she ended up hating my dad. I think it was her way of coping. Their marriage wasn't perfect, but she clung to everything that was wrong. He was a shift worker, always rotating from days to nights. It meant that he didn't get to spend as much time with us as he would have liked, but it paid for my mom's lifestyle. She always had new clothes, a nice car, whatever she asked him for. I know he loved her. He used gifts to try to make up for his schedule. My mom doesn't seem to remember that side of him. I guess it's easier to hate someone rather than mourn them. She never fails to shit talk him when we're on the phone. In her eyes, her new boyfriend is perfect, and my dad was human garbage. Oh my god. I can't stand to listen to her for too long, so I keep our calls short and spaced out. My therapist calls it creating boundaries. It feels like giving up though, because in the end, my mom got what she wanted. My mom's goal was to get rid of me, and she won. Call it a mental breakdown, a midlife crisis, or whatever you want. There's something I've never been able to shake off, even years later. As I fight to utter them, the words try to escape me. They're unspeakable thoughts. Lucia looks at me, questioning, and I nod. Elle, you're safe with me. Please, you can say it. I exhale. Every day I wake up and think I want to go home, but I can't. That part of my life, that door is locked. I shake my head, disagreeing with my statement. No, that's not it. I want to go home, but my mom burned the whole house down. Oh my God, that's hard. Sunshine says, oh my God, this story. Oh my God. Oh boy. Fuck. This story is so wow. Guys, this is a lot to get through. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. When I think of that part of my life, it's like sifting through a pile of ashes. There's nothing left. I did stupid things trying to numb the pain. I partied, slept around. I couldn't go a day without smoking. I was always reaching for painkillers too. I think I convinced myself that day quiet the throbbing in my head. House parties were too close to losing him, so I went to nightclubs instead. I remember dancing in the middle of a neon crowd, feeling more alone than I ever thought possible. I was surrounded by people smiling and partying, but there was no happiness. I realized no one was looking for me. I was screaming for help, and no one could hear me. My dad was dead. My mom had a new life. I was completely alone. Those choices were my own, but there were choices my parents would have protected me from. There were days where I laid in bed and couldn't pull the blankets off. All I could do was reach for a bottle. My own existence was too heavy. It was crushing. I got lucky in the end. My doctor probably saved my life. His office called for an annual checkup, and instead of canceling, I felt compelled to go. I didn't tell him much, but he saw the signs and pushed me into treatment. Lucia, I'm not the kind of person you should be around. I'm not good. My mom, warm tears spilled down my frigid cheeks like spring rain on forgotten snow. My throat constricts, threatening to choke my words into silence. I don't know what I did. I don't know why she left. I don't know why she stopped loving me. Lucia reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. As her fingertips brush across my skin, my shoulders drop. How does she do that? She has such a subtle presence. The smallest gesture feels like she's wrapped me in a fuzzy blanket. Why? Why do I feel safe telling you this? Lucia's expression softens as she pulls her hand away. Maybe this wasn't an accidental connection. I hastily wipe away the tears with my sleeve, doing my best to compose myself. But you mean, I never planned to visit the cemetery. My sister wasn't the reason I pulled over. It was because of you. The universe put you there and pulled me in like a magnet. I was sent to find you. I think we were meant to meet. That sounds... I'm not sure what to say. It's a nice thought, but I don't really believe in fate. Why? I want to believe that I decide what path I'll take, nothing else. I spent so much time feeling powerless and weak. If I get to decide my purpose, at least that's one thing I'll have control over. Your sister was so young. My dad was too. I don't think fate made that teenager crash into my dad. I think his own stupid decisions did. I made stupid decisions too. Grief pushed me over the edge and let it drive my life for too long. I want to write my own story now. Lucia nods and her smile brightens. If fate didn't send me, then I guess I found you all on my own. That's special too. But I have to argue fate's case. I think that was a sign that we were meant to find each other. I just couldn't see it until now. What sign? The bouquet of blue roses for Kate. They weren't there during her burial. Someone dropped them off afterward. I don't follow. Well, the thing about blue roses is they're not a typical flower to leave at a grave all on their own. Usually you have an arrangement with all kinds of accents. Roses weren't something Kate liked either, but there's a local tradition behind blue roses. No one really remembers this kind of stuff anymore except for florists in the region. It's a lost tradition. What's the tradition? In folklore, children would leave a single blue flower at the grave of their father. Blue roses became particularly popular because they were naturally occurring. The gesture symbolizes peace or serenity, depending on who you ask. My grandfather always told me that leaving a blue rose would help a father's spirit move on. Otherwise, they cling to this world to watch over their children. It grants them the seeds and acceptance of their passing and allows their children to grieve. I'm certain that I was meant to find that rose. Your dad was meant to have it. Lucio's words at his graveside echo through my mind. I do have an idea if you want to leave him something meaningful. So that's what she meant. It's more of a coincidence than anything. Still, I'm left with questions. I don't get your meaning. Why do you think the rose was faithful? It seems like someone dropped them off at the Kate's service, that's all. I think you're wrong. Fate put those roses there for a reason, regardless of who brought them. You were meant to take part of that tradition for him. I feel frustration ebb into my voice. Yeah, but why? Why? It was the question that always haunted me. Why did my dad have to die? Why did Mom leave? Why was everything familiar gone in an instant? Lucia smiles with patience beyond her years as she's waiting for my realization. Why? Because your dad doesn't need to worry about you being alone anymore. I'm here now. I fumbled, racing to organize my thoughts. Do you really mean that? That Rose was waiting for us. He deserves to be at peace. You're not alone anymore. I'm not going anywhere if you want me around. My tears threatened to overflow, but I craned my neck backward to stop them. Deep breath in, deep breath out. When I looked back to her, I could only bear to whisper my answer. I want you to stay. I will. For the first time since my dad died, I feel the bond, a new connection. I don't want to lose her. You'll keep your promise, right? What did I promise? I grinned. To text me once you drop me off. Lucia reaches for her phone and begins to tap away the screen. Is she texting me right now? She gasps suddenly. Oh shoot! We need to go soon, it's getting pretty late! If we stay much longer, you're going to miss your trick-or-treaters. You've got that date with your leftover candy too. As much as I don't want to leave quite yet, I don't want to keep Lucia too late. We better go. I don't need kids egging my place. Plus, I don't want you missing that party. I think I'll skip out. It's been an interesting day. Well, I hope you find the energy to go out. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Mine too. And don't worry, I'm going to send you pictures of my costume. I'm sure you'll love them. I can't help but find them. Looking forward to it. Lucia moves towards the waitress. Can we get the bill, please? I'll get that right away. The waitress glanced towards our untouched plates. I'm sorry, was there something wrong with your cheesecake? Oh, no. We're in a bit of a rush, that's all. Can we get takeout boxes, please? Of course. Thanks for coming. Happy Halloween. With the bill paid, we crossed the street and head to Lucy's car. I focus on giving Lucia directions to my neighborhood. I can't help but feel eager to get a box of Halloween decorations dusted off and onto my doorstep. I'm at number 235. Right here? Yep, that's my place. Lucia pulls over and parks the car. As the engine switches off, I can't help but wonder what she's up to. I thought she'd just drop me off. Let me walk you to your door. You don't have to do that. She giggles softly. Of course I do. This place is crawling with monsters. Little superheroes, princesses, and ghouls begin to trickle out into the streets, passing by houses without porch lights. I hurry up the steps and unlock my door. As I turn the key, I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. What? No goodbye? I stick out my tongue. Don't act so worried. I'm not ditching you just yet. I look back and pop the door open, hit the light switch, and watch as the dim orange glow flickers on. It looks like you get plenty of kids on the street. Oh yeah, I rarely have leftover candy. That's too bad. I would like to steal some. You're lucky then. Why is that? I have a stash just for myself, and I might be willing to share. Doesn't that mean you have to make plans to see me again? I guess so. Lucia steps closer. I can smell the faint remnants of a pumpkin and espresso aroma swirling around her. Her gaze drips downward from my eyes and traces my lips. I like that. Is she? Boom! An eruption of laughter echoes from across the street. A group of trick-or-treaters are trying to scare their friends. Lucia adjusts the strap of her purse, clearly flustered. I've been thinking about our next date. I can't help but smile when she says that. You have? Yep. Maybe we could go with something casual. Coffee wasn't casual. I meant the topics. I'd love to know what your favorite music is or what your childhood pets were like. I want to know more about you. My heartbeat quickens. I like where you're going with that. I could do simple. As long as you spill some details too. I want to hear all about your past. Ex-boyfriends, adventures, everything. Lucia begins to fidget again, this time with her necklace. Well, you won't have to worry about boyfriends. She seems anxious about the admission. That's a relief. No competition. I try my best to make her laugh, but all I get is a grin. Worth it. Do you like horror movies? Yes. Although I'm more into ghost stories, slashers aren't my thing. Alright. Did you want to come over tomorrow night? We can eat candy and watch a haunted house film. Her eyes light up. I'd love to. Great, it's a plan. Although I do have one question for you. What is it? Should I expect flowers? Always. I guess I better buy a vase. Don't be silly, I can bring one. Lucia reaches to her purse and taps at her phone. It's getting late. I think I should head out. There's something else I want to say before you go. Okay? It's that. If you change your mind about us seeing each other again, it's okay. Why do you say that? Because meeting you was a blessing either way. You made me see myself so clearly. I used to think that I never made a step forward, that my grief hadn't changed. Today, you were a mirror into my past. I could finally see that I've been doing whatever I needed to. I'm growing. So, blue roses and fade aside, you lost your sister this week. I'd rather you lean on me and not the other way around. I also want you to take as much time as you need before we see each other again. If you wake up tomorrow and can't get out of bed, that's natural. I'm not in a rush. I'll wait for you when you're ready to spend time together. Put yourself first. Lucia nods. Thank you for saying that. But just so you know, you can't get out of our date that easy. I expect chocolate bars and lollipops tomorrow night, or you're in big trouble. Good to know. I'll be ready. Lucia bites her bottom lip absent-mindedly. I'm glad that I found you today. I can't wait to get to know you better. Lucia inches closer to me. Good night, Elle. Oh, that's so cute. I ship them so hard. These two are so cute. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. Lucia wraps her arms around me in a warm embrace. I think you're an amazing person. Thank you for today. I smile. No, thank you. I'm glad that you found me, Lucia. I squeeze her tight. Good night. They need to get a room. They need to get a room together. Interactive. They did their man, this was a short visual novel, but every minute feels like an hour. It feels like a long story, but before you know it, you're left wanting more. And I just want to see more of these two, honestly. And this game came out 4 years ago, and it looks like that this is all that we're gonna get out of Elle and Lucia. But I'm really I'm really grateful to this game. It really gets you thinking about a lot of stuff. As you can see, this game made me cry. This actually very hard to do with a 90-minute visual novel. This is a underrated visual novel if you ask me. And it's free too. I can't believe that they made this free. They are so nice to make this free on Steam and on itch.io. And I'm really happy to have showed you Sunshine's this game today. It's a hidden gem for sure. I really recommend this for anyone who likes visual novels, anyone who only has like $2 in their day. You can get through this in one playthrough. That being said, that depends on if you're willing to go through these kinds of themes. I love this post-credits art. That's beautiful. That is so Yuri. The Yuri vibes in here. Golden morning light trails across my windowsill. What a beautiful sunrise. For the first time that I can remember, I'm glad to see a new day. I snuggle under the covers to enjoy a warm, nice second form. I sigh. Instead of angry words, anxious dreams, or dark ravings, there's only one thing in my mind. One person. I imagine her in the room with me. What would that be? Maybe I'd make her pancakes. We could sit down for breakfast and chat the morning away. I bet she'd love it, huh? The fantasy warms the forgotten ice in my heart. Despite being alone, I want to say it. Good morning, Lucy. I'll see you soon. It's a promise to myself. One I intend to keep. That's so beautiful. This was a journey, I'll say. I got no words to say now. This is a beautiful game. Man. There's 2 pictures on here that I haven't unlocked. One of them was the that I got in the PlayStation version. I thought they censored it here, but it turns out that I didn't get it here. There was a picture of Elle in her alcoholism days, and it was really dark. But look at this art. Look at this art. That is beautiful. That's a wallpaper. That is wallpaper material. The Yuri vibes in this is so cute. Thinking about Lucia. Those two need to make out. They just do. Those two are so cute. I really ship them. It's sad this game doesn't have that much attention to it, and I think people should really play this. I want at least, Face Connect or Hololive VTubers to give this a try. I would like for this game to go viral for sure. These two deserve more stories. Delphinium Interactive, if you're watching this, thank you for this game. I really liked the story. These characters are perfect, and hopefully one day we get more with these two. They deserve it. They really do. That's that rose. Oh, that's cute! Oh, it's such a bittersweet novel, this game. This is version 1.2. So yeah, I think that's all we got. We can exit out now. So yeah, that was pretty much it for Graveyard Girls, and thank you Mario Wii Luigi for the £2 super chat. Thank you for that. I didn't notice it until now. I was looking at the game, and what a game it was. It really was. I definitely recommend this for sure. So yeah, I really liked it. I might play more visual novels in the next couple of weeks if you guys would like that. With that said, uh, that's what we're gonna talk about in the future. But for now, the sun is setting for the day. The sun is setting for the day, and that means we're going to raid. We're gonna raid someone as we always do here for Yui Tachibana. We're going to raid Skittlesaurus Rex, and as usual, always stay safe and everything. And smile for me, okay? Smile. This visual novel taught me a lot. If you have been dealing with losing a loved one, whether that's a friend or a cousin or a parent, talk to someone. Like Elle and Lucia in this game. Friendships can come handy, and they can help you in the long run. Friendships help your mental health. I mean, I was a former brony before I became a VTuber, after all, and I should know. And both communities, they saved my life, honestly. My dad got deported when I was 9 years old, and it's been hard dealing without him. And I feel like he would have helped out with a lot of things if he was here. And that's why this game speaks to me. It makes me think about my own life, and I really, really, really appreciate this game's existence. So thank you again to Delphinium Interactive for this game. Elle and Lucia, they're kind of like me and Kat, to be honest. I see myself in those two. I see me and Kat in Elle and Lucia. So yeah, really good game. I love this very, very much. So with that said, everyone go